Bainaka Espesial, especial ba Timor Pos, especial ba Mahotu. Acompanha programa especial Loro-Lorong e a televisão Timor Pos live streaming. Timor Pos, a janela informação ba Mahotu.
Hello to dear viewers of our channel Timor Pos on online platform. Here see with us a special guest from South Korea, one of our partnership nation. We will have a short interview now in relation to the bilateral relation with both Timor-Leste and South Korea. And good day, Ambassador Kim. And just a quick question, so can you explain about your presence today here in Timor-Leste?
Well, bon dia, yes, very good morning, and I'm very glad to be in Delhi. We came to Delhi yesterday, and in the capacity of special envoy of the Korean Foreign Minister. Our basic aim is to explore more opportunities to enhance our already very close ties of cooperation between Timor-Leste and South Korea. And with our group having a lot of series of schedules during our stay in Korea, in Timor-Leste, we are particularly interested in learning and listening from our Timor-Leste friends about what areas we could work together in Timor-Leste's own efforts to become a full member of Asean and also a member of WTO, World Trade Organization. We are welcoming Timor-Leste's accession to ASEAN that was in principle agreed upon by the leaders of ASEAN in November last year. And we are quite committed to working together with the government of Timor-Leste on improving the conditions and capability of Timor-Leste in its own journey to become fully integrated into ASEAN and also World Trade Body. And we had some meetings with the Timor-Leste high government officials, including President Orta and Foreign Minister Magno, yesterday and this morning respectively. And they all agree that our bilateral ties is based upon close friendship and sharing of democratic values. From even before independence, South Korea has been a staunch supporter of Timor-Leste's independence. And for the last 20 years, after the establishment of diplomatic ties between the two countries, we've been developing quite a robust partnership. But I think this is quite high time for both countries to work together for the upgrading of existing partnership. There are ample areas that we could work together in a much closer manner. Development cooperation, the expansion of increase of South Korea's own efforts to invite more Timor-Leste workers into South Korea, and also expansion of educational exchange program dedicated to Timor-Leste students. And we've been helping each other in multilateral arenas, including United Nations and other the important international bodies. And we are quite grateful for the Timor-Leste's steadfast support extended to South Korea in various multilateral fora.
Can you know how is the relation between South Korea and ASEAN nation up to present?
Well, Korea is quite dedicated and close partner to ASEAN from the very beginning. And Korea is now a strategic partner to ASEAN, and we have been enjoying our dialogue partners status with ASEAN for the last almost 24 years. And we'll be celebrating the 25th anniversary of our dialogue partners with ASEAN.
35th.
Oh, 30th, oh, sorry, 30th. So next year, 30th.
35th.
30?
35th next year.
35th. 35th, sorry. And so this year marks the 34th anniversary of our dialogue partners' relations with ASEAN. And we have several mechanisms to be a part of ASEAN plus Korea process, and also ASEAN plus 3, ASEAN, Korea, Japan, China process, and also in a bigger context, East Asia community building centered on ASEAN. And with Timor-Leste becoming a full member of ASEAN, we will be in a position to work much closely with Timor-Leste within the context of the South Korea's comprehensive partnership with ASEAN. At the same time, President Orta and Foreign Minister Magno have emphasized its own Timor-Leste's own plan and also aspiration to invite South Korea in its own capacity building and in its own preparation for becoming a member of ASEAN. And we are committed to assist Timor-Leste's own efforts through capacity building and technical assistance program. The details should be worked out through the bilateral consultation and also consultation with other ASEAN member states.
We are now as a member of observer
Right.
member. So technically and politically, how or when South Korea will support food for Timor-Leste?
From the very initial stage, we have been in full support of Timor-Leste's own accession process to ASEAN from 2011, when Timor-Leste has for the first time applied for the membership of ASEAN. So our support is already with Timor-Leste. The question is how to assist Timor-Leste's own efforts to increase its own capability to act and serve as a responsible member of ASEAN. There are so many meetings requiring Timor-Leste to join within the ASEAN context, about 1,000 meetings per year. So I think that's what Foreign Minister Magno has mentioned to us, is that there are lack of human resources, lack of experiences and know-how on the part of the whole of government in Timor-Leste, not only within the foreign ministry but also within other line ministries within Timor-Leste. So I think there should be some programs to be needed in cultivating Timor-Leste public servants' own capability to act and serve and play in the ASEAN process. South Korea, as a dialogue partner to ASEAN, will be ready to assist Timor-Leste's own efforts. Of course, there is one funding mechanism already in place vis-a-vis ASEAN, that is called ASEAN Korea Cooperation Fund, AKCF, which are available for all the member states, but hopefully there's through the consultation amongst the member states of ASEAN and with South Korea, that fund can be hopefully utilized to assist Timor-Leste's own endeavors to get equipped to become a full member of ASEAN.
globally, how important ASEAN and the relation with South Korea?
ASEAN is at the center of our foreign policy pillars. Just recently, with the new government in Seoul, led by President Yoon Suk-yeol, the Yoon government has initiated the so-called new foreign policy objective called Korea-ASEAN Solidarity Initiative, which is dedicated solely for ASEAN. That is basically to expand our own partnership with ASEAN to diverse areas, mostly focused on and upgrading its own area of cooperation to the untrodden areas like political security cooperation as well. And then the KASI, that's Korea ASEAN Solidarity Initiative, has been designed to promote cooperation at every level, that from maritime security, cyber security, and how to promote rule of law and multilateralism with ASEAN. Of course, this the foremost weight is also on trade and investment promotion with ASEAN member countries, and also the socio-cultural areas as well. But anyhow, this when and if Timor-Leste will become a full member of ASEAN, this ASEAN-Korea initiative for the expanding outreach with ASEAN will be applicable to Timor-Leste as well.
How important is Timor-Leste become a member to ASEAN?
Well, first of all, this ASEAN has a new member, that is Timor-Leste. So we will be able to address some of the concerns and needs Timor-Leste will raise as a member state. Because up until now, we've been dealing with 10 member states, but with Timor-Leste into ASEAN, that will be dealing with 11 member states. And another quite salient feature of our partnership dates back to historical legacies that we are sharing together. Even prior to independence of Timor-Leste, we've been in support of Timor-Leste's own self-declaration and its nation building, and also through the dispatch of our PKO Evergreen unit to Timor-Leste. We've been helping the national building process of Timor-Leste, and we are quite an important development partner to Timor-Leste. According to some of the statistics shown by Timor-Leste government, we are number 4 and number 5 in its scale of economic and development cooperation to Timor-Leste. And another important element is that we are making some contribution to Timor-Leste's own development through employing quite a number of Timor-Leste workers in South Korea through employment permit system that is now underway between South Korean government and Timor-Leste.
So personally, how do you observe the situation and the bilateral relation between Timor-Leste and South Korea?
Well, I think we are on good path. For the last 2 decades, we've been developing quite close and partnership based on shared values and shared experiences. And what Foreign Minister Magno and also President Orta has emphasized is that Timor-Leste is at a crossroad, is in dire need to diversify its economic landscape. I think there's the dependence on oil and gas sector will not be lasting forever. So I think that's quite critical task for Timor-Leste government to address. I think there's diversification of its own industrial structure, and also to induce more foreign direct investment, also to nurture small and medium-sized enterprises here in Timor-Leste are the top priorities of the government here in Dili. So I think that's the areas where Korea can do some parts. That was requested by the President Orta and Foreign Minister Magno during our meetings.
So, based on Korean experience, because Timor-Leste will be a full member and we are in the preparation, so as a young country we still face some difficulties. So, if there is some recommendation from South Korea to Timor-Leste,
I think first of all is Timor-Leste has something to be very proud of. Is within the last 2 decades, it has been growing as a young democracy, and also it has showcased its own capability to become a member of WTO. I think that soon it will be admitted to WTO. It's out of other least developing countries. I think Timor-Leste is surely one good example. And with the full membership of ASEAN in sight, Timor-Leste should work harder to cultivate its own human resources, first of all, and also to be prepared for the future to come with transition to green and blue economy, less dependent on petroleum dollars, petroleum fund that Timor-Leste has been overly depended upon in the past. And what our experiences, South Korea's own experiences into the economic development and to become one of the best economy tells us is that human resources is the number one priority in order to, especially in this whole tsunami-like kind of change of technological advancement and new industrial revolution, so 4.0, and all the changes coming out of this technological innovation and innovation-driven industrial kind of the transformation. So, in order to tackle those challenges, I think there's more resources and more energies, more public expenditures should be poured into human resources development, how to kind of upgrade, how to upskill those who are in need of those education in a higher level. That should be the first and foremost challenge that Timor-Leste government should undertake. For that, Korea has some experiences to share with Timor-Leste. I think there's to invite more Timor-Leste students to study in Korea, and also to employ more Timor-Leste workers into South Korea, and perhaps more programs to be dedicated to Timor-Leste young and would-be entrepreneurs to be nurtured in Timor-Leste.
Okay. The last question. Personally, what is your expectation for Timor-Leste in this process for the next?
Well, Timor-Leste is a young but small democracy, and economic development level is still not on a par with other existing member states of ASEAN. So there are quite substantial gaps to be filled up by Timor-Leste in catching up with other colleague ASEAN member states. but Timor-Leste cannot do it alone. I think it does require cooperation and assistance from other partners like South Korea. That's why we have came to Delhi to discuss what kind of future cooperation will be needed on our part. So with some of the discussions that we have conducted with the Timor-Leste government, like President Berita and Foreign Minister Magno, and some of the on-site visits to our development cooperation projects, we will be willing to return back to Seoul with some of the policy suggestions that would be hopefully valuable for the enhancement of our partnership.
Dear viewers of Timor channel, South Korea is not new for Timor-Leste because we have many people there, especially for Korean scholarship and also workers. And at this opportunity, we have listened directly from a special envoy from South Korea, speaking about the position of South Korea will support Timor-Leste in the process of full member to be a full member of Asean, and the Korean policy for Timor-Leste for the next. So we hope our relation still continue deeply, and thank you for this interview.
So, thank you and obrigado. Yes.
Janela informação by Emma Hotu. Atu reta informação atual diakliu kita haluha haneham botão subscribe, like, halo comentário no faz botão ba media sosial Hotu.